Welcome to Alpha Wolf Capital. I'm Tim, and I want to personally thank you for stopping by. This channel is designed to help small companies, both public and private, gain exposure with potential consumers, investors, even partners. Take, for example, today's guest, CEO Desmond Wheatley from BEEM Global, ticker symbol BEEM. BEAM Global is a leading provider of innovative and sustainable infrastructure solutions for the electrification of transportation and energy security. They operate at a nexus of clean energy and transportation with a focus on sustainable energy infrastructure, rapidly deployed and scalable EV charging solutions, safe energy storage, and vital energy security. With operations in the US and Europe, BEAM Global develops, patents, designs, engineers, and manufactures unique and advanced clean technology solutions that power transportation, provide secure sources of electricity, save time and money, and protect the environment. BEAM Global is without question an impact company, and I'm going to let Desmond tell you more about that in just a moment. This is not to be taken as investment advice. I am not a certified financial planner. This is for education and entertainment purposes only. I encourage everyone to do their own due diligence. Hey everybody, Tim from Alpha Wolf Capital coming at you with a follow-up to one of my favorite stories, even though the stock is getting annihilated for a bunch of different but I think some misunderstandings and underappreciation for where the company is actually positioned today. And Desmond Wheatley's coming in to give us an update. Even though I think you've been very proactive at getting news out on your own lately. It seems like there's constant news flow. Uh,
Yep.
Maybe we can talk about where you're at today. And I know this argument that I've been making is not played out yet, uh, by saying, is the company stronger than it was when you went to 72 or 74 bucks? And we
Yes.
both know the answer to that question is without a question, yes. Right?
Resoundingly. Resoundingly.
Okay. Here's what I would like to, first of all, I'm
On
gonna,
every metric. On every metric, by the way. And I'm quite happy. If anybody disagrees with that, send me a note and I'll be happy to give you the numbers and the hard facts and data to support that comment.
okay. Let's talk about, so you got some challenges here, new administration, clearly a focus on new Green Deal and anything EV right now is not a good play in the United States, right?
Yep.
However, this is what I think have been thinking about myself. The acquisition that you did that in Serbia, thank God you did that acquisition because number one, the European market, so everybody knows, is bigger than the US market, right?
Much bigger. I'll give
Okay.
you some numbers on that if you like.
Okay.
Yep.
So
405 million cars in Europe, 320 million cars in China, 290 million cars in the United States. Europe is by far the largest market for automotive in the world. And by the way, we're not just in Europe, we're now moving into Middle East and Africa as well, which are both also very large markets for us.
okay. But here's even the better thing that came out of that acquisition because for the longest time, you have had one product, which was the EV Arc, right?
Yep. Yep.
The engineering team that you acquired through that acquisition in Serbia has enabled you to now have five products, right?
Yep. Yep. Half a dozen actually, and then a whole lot of other peripheral stuff around that too.
Okay. Which in my mind makes those two things right there are huge in terms of your ability to continue to grow and scale, right? You bought a company that has relationships with I think it was 17 or 18 nations, right?
17, yep.
Okay, 17 nations, and they happen to make street light posts, and they're let's just forget the charging station portion of it. Just let's talk security. Let's talk other possibilities with those streetlight posts. That is a possibility because you bought a company that makes electronic equipment, right?
I made a second acquisition over there that makes power electronics as well.
Okay.
And so, yeah, absolutely. We're in a position now where we have got powered hardware every 50 meters down every street in major cities in 18 nations around the world. By the way, including the United States, we're in Miami, Florida. We have streetlights in Miami, Florida. On top of that, we have a couple of thousand EV Arc products, the thing you can see behind me right now, dotted around the United States. We're introducing BeamSpot, BeamBike, BeamPatrol, BeamWell, and a couple other things as well right now. And all of these are powered hardware in the built environment. Certainly, now that we've made this power electronics acquisition, that's going to make it less expensive for us to make these products, make them more efficient, less prone to failures that third-party electronics cause us. But beyond that, it's creating a platform for us now to have a lot of hardware out in the built environment that in the future we'll see everything, hear everything, smell everything, taste everything. And it will put us in a position where we're not just delivering light and electricity into vehicles and electricity for disaster preparedness and for all these other things, but we're also a gigantic sponge soaking up data from the built environment. We'll be able to see as things migrate across a city, if there are chemical agents or anything else like that. It puts us in an incredible position moving forward. And as you know, Tim, because I've talked to you about this before, cities hate being integrators. Okay, cities hate being integrators. We're going to be able to go to them and say, we've got the hardware, we've got the software, we've got the sensors, and with a single throat to choke and a single invoice, you're going to be able to take advantage of all of that without having to be an integrator. So yeah, well, I think we none of this has happened by accident. Right. I didn't buy the European company because I thought that we were going to have problems with electric vehicle infrastructure in the United States. And by the way, to sell the negative, we are. It's tricky times in the US right now for where EV charging infrastructure is concerned. The new administration has definitely made no bones about being against that. But the truth of it, I did it because it was a tremendous growth move. Now it looks like not only a tremendous growth move, but also a fantastic way of immunizing us against the next couple of years of potential decline in electrification of transportation in the United States. And I say potential because the last comment I'll make on at this point is EV sales are up 22% this January over last year. So there's a lot of talk out there about how EVs aren't going to happen, and the press and the administration and everything else like that. But the fact is the consumers are still buying them.
And the reality is, and you and I just talked about this before we hopped on, it's not just the Green Deal. They're fun vehicles. They are. I just literally drove a beast Cybertruck. Let me tell you, that thing is a beast. I mean, it is. I don't think I've ever been in anything, and I've had Harleys, I've had race bikes. I have never been in something that when you hit it, I can't remember what they call it, but it literally takeoff in three,
Insane one, yeah,
one,
yeah,
and holy shit, it
yep,
threw me back in the seat, and it felt like my face it was unbelievable. It was so
yep.
fun, and I'm thinking to myself,
I own an American electric pickup truck. It's the 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. Magnificent piece of equipment developed by an American company. I own an American motorcycle, the only thing faster than that pickup truck on the road. It's like firing a crossbow, made by an American company. I charge it on products that are made in America infrastructure. This is American innovation. We should not be doing anything to slow this down. We should be getting behind this. We can make the finest, the greatest vehicles in the world because we have fantastically efficient capital markets and we have an innovation culture. We should be getting behind this stuff. EVs are not the problem. EVs are the solution, and yes, you are right. They're a fantastically fun solution as well. It's not like you have to give something up to own them.
right. One thing I want to make sure I address this, Desmond. So there is rumor and speculation that you and I are in cahoots, or I'm being paid by Beam Global in some way, shape, or form. And I want to make sure that everybody is very clear in understanding this. I am not being paid by Beam Global in any way, shape, or form. I have been following this company for shit. How long has it been? It's been a long time. I have had an amazing run in this stock. When it went ballistic up to 70, I knew it didn't deserve to be there then. I
So
have
did I.
watched everything that you have done, and you have come through on everything that you said you would do. So it may not have been in the time frame, but this stock was very good to this company was very good to me as an investor. And that's what I am. I'm an investor. I'm not a trader. I'm not a short-term guy. And I look at what you've built over this period without destroying your cap table, which is incredibly important. So anyone that wants to challenge me on whether or not I will be happy to do a forensic audit of everything. And if you are wrong, you will pay the price in the court of law for defamation of character. I want to make that so clear because I do this for free. I do it for free for the company, and the videos that I put out are for people to do their own homework, do your due diligence. But these are companies that I think at some point are going to pay their investors back. And the stock market is sometimes very illogical. Okay. It doesn't always make sense. Things get overvalued, things get undervalued. That's the reality of it. There is nothing that says to me that Beam Global is going bankrupt. But if you looked at the stock, you would think that that is what's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
You're in a very good place. You seem, and you are focusing on the things that I think you should be focusing on. And you are very fortunate that you did do the deal. You got the deal that you got, and now you're starting to get some traction with some things. And we could talk about BeamBike. You told me in the last interview that you did not create these things just to create them. You had a specific request to create
Mhm.
these things, right?
Yeah,
So
it's been borne out. Listen, just on the whether or not you're being paid thing, I just want to echo that. I personally and Beam Global have never given Tim or Alpha anything at all except my time. And I've been very grateful to him for offering this platform because I think that we are one of the most poorly understood companies out there. I think people bundle us in with a whole lot of other stuff that they're trading us like we're an EV charging stock. They're trading us like we're a pure solar stock. And I'm very grateful to have an opportunity to answer your questions because you tend to ask me probing questions. I've always told you that I will answer anything that you ask me while we're doing these things, good, bad, or ugly. And I'm just grateful to have an opportunity to tell the truth about this company and hopefully help some people get a better appreciation for what we're doing and why we're doing it. Like your comment earlier about is the company better now than it was when we were trading at $75? Without a question. There was an EV bubble, 3 or 4 years ago. Everybody traded up. Everyone has traded back down. Everyone, our chart looks identical to everyone else in the space, but we have no debt. We're introducing new products. We're making well-crafted acquisitions. We're moving into new, bigger markets. We have a good strategic plan, and we do not rearrange our strategic plan every time we fail tactically. No, we don't fail tactically, and B, we stick to our guns and we do what we say we're going to do. And you're also right to point out one of my weaknesses is things never happen as fast as I want them to. I'm a fiercely impatient person. I tend to move very quickly myself. People around here know it. Nobody gets in my way when I'm walking down the corridors in the office here because they know they're going to get knocked over. And not because I'm unkind to them, but just because I cannot move slowly. So things don't happen as quickly as I want to. But we've done absolutely everything that we ever said that we would do. We've done it honestly, and we've done it with a great deal of fiscal discipline. We have no debt. We don't spend money willy-nilly, and we have a very low float because I view equity with the same importance as I do cash. In fact, more so. I don't just throw equity around either. So I just want to make absolutely clear we have never given Alpha anything at all. Not a T-shirt. I've given out a lot of T-shirts from this company, but I haven't given one to Tim, except my time. And I do that because I believe it's in the best interest of the company to educate people.
So I want to make sure the people also know. When I'm an investor in a company or I am involved, I will open up my entire network. I will make introductions. I will do things for companies that actually people that do the things that I do for companies get paid a lot of freaking money to do.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
And I find it ironic that people seem to think that I don't value my time. My time is the most valuable thing I have. And
Mhm.
I know that if I'm applying my time to something, I'm not doing it for free in my mind. I am going to get paid at some point as an investor. That is the goal. So, like I said, if anybody wants to challenge it, I'm happy to take it to court. And if you're wrong, you're going to pay the price for defamation of character. So that's
When they're wrong, not if.
that. Well, I know they're wrong. So there's nothing for me to. Everybody that's out there, I will say this: if you're spending your time bashing a stock, I spend all my time looking for companies and opportunities. That's what I do. And I spend my time trying to help those companies that I think are doing good things for all of humanity, not just my investment portfolio. It is a something that I think is a need. That's where I try to focus my energy. I don't like negativity. I'm not a negative person. I will never say a negative thing about a company, even if I don't like them. I just quietly go away. So if you are a person that is in a chat room bashing a company, bashing a CEO, I have two questions. If you're long the company, how is bashing the company and bashing the CEO going to help the stock? I would say you're probably short. If you're not short, if you actually do own the company, then I think you're an idiot for staying in the company that you don't like, that you're bashing. It just none of these things make sense to me. There are people that are paid to go into chat rooms and literally stir the pot because the guys that want to short the stock want as much of that noise happening as possible. I tune it all out. I don't listen to it. I don't read analysts. I do my own research. And I know that Desmond is very passionate about what he does. He has a vision that I don't think everybody else sees, but he has clearly made moves that show where he is going. And if you can't see that, that's okay. I tend to be early. I like to be early. That is the best thing for me because I'm very patient. I can wait. Most people nowadays, everything is short term. Every investing is becoming a there's just not many investors, it doesn't seem like to me anymore. It's all about short term trades. That's not where the real money is made. And I can prove that, right? When you find a good company early and you're patient enough and you have enough conviction in the story to stick with it and add when the price goes lower, at some point you get paid and you get paid handsomely. That's the reality of it. Nobody's going to shake me out of my stock. I'm just going to add more. That's me. I'm not telling anybody what to do. I never have. I'm not saying go buy it. I just put the story out there. What I do is what I do. And I think that this stock is overdone, way overdone. And I don't think it's going to stay that way because it literally can't. We go through cycles. There's times when you get oversold to the downside. There's times when you get irrational exuberance to the upside. This is a good story that is diversified, that continues to diversify. Battery company, you bought all cell. It's not just, there are a lot of pieces. The airport deal that you just, that one took you a long time to make a reality. But
Yes,
you
yeah.
did get it. And they happen to own 17 other international airports, right?
70, 70, not
Oh,
17.
17,
70, yes.
7-0. I thought it was
Yes.
17, and I was happy
No,
with that.
70 international airports. We're now deployed in the first of that company's airports.
Okay, that is a big deal. and they have some benefits, some clear benefits from having that deal come through.
Right. Listen, they got EV charging in their premier lot without paying for it. They got the carbon reductions in their premier. Their customers get free solar-powered EV charging when they go to the airport. The sponsors thrilled to bits because they got so many eyeballs on those things coming in and out of the airport, and we're thrilled to bits because we got a recurring revenue stream out of it. Something I've been, as you said, I've been working on it a long time. It's taken a whole lot longer than I expected it to, but yes, we got it done. Look, it's not easy to do this, Tim. It is not easy to create brand new products for a brand new industry and build a business and build an industry and everything else out of it. And you're going to hit a lot of hurdles along the way. Not everyone's going to agree with what you're doing, but at the end of the day, electrification is going to happen. Energy security is an essential next step for us, and that's what our products provide. This is a global phenomenon, and we're now in a big chunk of the planet. We have a lot of patents. We have a lot of intellectual property defending these new products that we've developed. And you're quite right. We didn't develop any of them because we thought it was a good idea. We developed them because customers said to us, "We have a real need. Can you help solve that need?" And we're doing that.
Right. Don't you have a? You all right? You better not pass out on me over there.
No, you know, I'm made of sterner stuff than that. A lot of people around here got colds, and I've been on the road for a month. I've been traveling nonstop for a month. I visited the United Kingdom, France, Serbia, Croatia, Montenegro, Bosnia-Herzegovina, North Macedonia, and Greece. I'm sure I'm forgetting something. And 7 days a week, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I met with mayors, I met with logistics people, I met with EV charging companies, I met with bike share companies, I met with legislators, regulators, government entities, and investors. 7 days a week,
real quickly,
breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
You added.
So I'm more inclined to get a cold than I normally would be because the one thing I haven't had for the last month is any sleep.
You added 3 distribution partners. Let's talk about that for a second. What's it mean?
It means, so actually it's a really good question, and it's worth mentioning just drawing attention to a couple of things at the moment.
Yep.
We had 300% year-over-year growth in 23, up to the third quarter of 2024, which is as far as we've announced yet. Our numbers won't come out until the end of March for a full year, but up to the third quarter of 2024, we had generated twice as much revenue as any prior year in our history, except for 2023. Okay, so a huge wave of growth. If you look at 5-year CAGR of 70+%, okay, in our growth, we did all of that essentially with a single product in one country and with a high degree of customer concentration, no doubt about it. U.S. Army, our biggest customer, for example, right? Yep. And with an internal sales team of 4 or 5 people. That's how we accomplished all of that. We now have half a dozen products. We're now operating in 18 nations. We now have customer diversity like you've never seen. We still have our internal sales team who developed all the success that we had up till now. But now we're adding sales multipliers, force multipliers. And the way we're doing that is we're adding agents, resellers, and distributors. And all of them are success-based payment. So they don't add to our SG&A, they don't add to our operating costs. When and if they sell, they make money. Performance-based pay entirely. Okay. So instead of one sales team, one product, one country, and a lot of customer concentration, now it's that same sales team, 18 nations, half a dozen products, and yes, we're adding these force multipliers. And by the way, a lot of the meetings that I had when I was in Europe and in the Balkans for that month were organized for, hosted by, and I was introduced by our new sales channels to these people. And what I can tell you is, categorically, during that month, I met with I don't even remember how many people. I have a report, but I off the top of my head, I can't remember how many people. And in almost every case, the reaction of the mayor, the logistics person, the EV charging company, the bike sharing company, the police force, or whatever else was, we like those products and we want those products and we need those products. Now, that doesn't mean we close them. There's a process now. As you're talking about big dollars, there's a process. You've got to take them through that process. And sometimes it takes a long time. Sometimes it happens quite quickly. It depends on a whole host of different things. But the simple fact of the matter is anyone who's ever been in sales will know that when you sit down with 100 customers and all of them say, we want that product and we like that, some of them are going to buy it. Okay. And you can never know. Our pipeline to backlog ratio has always been pretty good. You can never know. It's more art than science. Okay, but we get better at it the more we do of it. But we just go and meet with another 100 people. We just go meet with another. This is a global phenomenon, and we have well protected products from an IP point of view, patents in the United States and in Europe. And they are very timely. They're very necessary. They're providing an awful lot of stuff that people really need. You know, I said to you earlier, people love to sort of say to me, "Oh, you know, you with the new administration, you're toast, and you know, you must really hate the new administration." Hey, first of all, I love this country. I love this country. I respect the office of the president, even if I don't always agree with what they say. And by the way, I never do. I don't care what side of the aisle they're on. I never agree with everything that they say. Probably disagree with more than I agree with in all instances. But let me just say this for everybody. Actually, if you think about it, we have a whole lot more in common with this administration than people like to say. People like to say, oh, we're tree-hugging EV solar panel guys. Nothing could be further from the truth. Ask the Marine Corps if I'm a tree hugger. Okay? We agree that there should be abundant energy. We agree that there should be abundant American energy. We agree that it should be inexpensive and easily accessible by Americans. We agree that there should be a vibrant automotive industry in this country. We agree that the United States should lead in energy and the automotive industry. We agree that we should not be able to be our energy should not be able to be interrupted by the Russians or the Iranians or the Chinese or anybody else for that matter. We agree that energy security is paramount and the industry cannot operate unless they have stable energy prices that are reliable. Our products provide all of those things. They are designed to do that, just what I just talked about. And those are completely aligned with the new administration. I don't agree with drill baby.
Your products are made in America.
Made in America, providing reliable, cheap energy to American businesses and to American military and to American drivers. Okay. I don't agree with drill baby drill. I think that's a terrible idea. Okay, oil prices are fungible. We cannot force oil companies in this country to drill prices and force the price of oil down. They're not going to do it, right? They're profit motivated. Okay, but I do agree with reliable energy sources, and I more than agree with. I believe in my heart it is essential that America leads in these new technologies and doesn't give up that leadership to the Chinese or to anybody else. And I'm sorry to say we're doing a little bit of that right now.
Yeah, I'm going to say, I will say this, you know, I hope, because there's no question, I am a supporter of the current administration. I am a supporter of Elon Musk and what's happening in the government right now. I think it's long overdue. But one thing I will say is that I don't want to go from one extreme to another extreme. And I do believe that we have to, as a country, be very focused about leading and becoming the innovators. And for a long time, we have literally shipped our intellectual property overseas, where they take it, steal it, and immediately start working on how to make it better. That's the reality of it. We have no manufacturing. We have to get these things back in the United States, or we're gonna be in big trouble. And we need to be. I think competition. I don't know if you've seen, but over the last several weeks, I think almost every day I have seen some kind of a report on how China is taking they have better AI, DeepSeek. They have better chips, glass chip technology that's gonna wipe NVIDIA off the face of the planet. There's Invisa shields that China again is like outpacing us there. And I saw yesterday it was some kind of a laser optical, all of these things made in China, really trying to drive home the fact that they are leapfrogging us in technology. I say competition is good. If that's the case, great. Things can change very quickly, right? If we get focused and we start really hankering down here in the United States, I would never, ever bet against American ingenuity. But the things
No,
that we
well,
have done in this country have been anti innovation on many levels. And I'm talking
yep.
Wall Street, I'm talking all up and down the chain. We need to change the way we think about things. And I hope to God that this administration puts us on that path and does not start doing things like EV is not just electric vehicle. Your EV arcs are not just about charging vehicles. They are also they are a power source in places like North Carolina or Florida when they
all
have
over the
a
country.
hurricane, right?
They're about AI. They're about autonomous vehicles. They're about advanced. Listen, the United States is by far and away the richest, most powerful nation in the world today. Okay, no, and that we were not that in December of 2024. We were the richest, most powerful nation in the world by far. How did we get there? Because we have fantastically efficient capital markets and because we have an innovation society, an innovation culture. We should be celebrating and supporting those things. We're not going to defend our way out of this. We need to invest our way into continuing that leadership. We were already the greatest nation on the planet. I said, I love this place. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. We need to continue that. And turning our backs on new technologies like electric vehicles and things like that will certainly not help us out where that's concerned.
That would
No,
not
we'll
help.
end up 4 years behind the Chinese in a technology that is inevitable, absolutely inevitable. And I don't want to see that happen. I don't want to see that happen. We need to lead. We can because I'll tell you what. Many years ago, I was in not many years ago, a few years ago. It was in the first Trump administration. I was in India with Secretary Perry, who was Energy Secretary at the time, Rick Perry.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was part of an energy delegation that was over there, and part of the effort was to sell the Indians more natural gas. And my comment was to Secretary Perry at the time, and I stand by it today, was Secretary Perry, the greatest innovation or rather the greatest asset resource that the United States has is between the ears of its citizens, not under the ground that we're standing on. Okay, we should be investing in that. We should be selling the Indians our technology, our innovation, and everything else like that, not selling them our gas, frankly. He didn't agree with me, and it's okay. I can disagree with people, but I vehemently am certain that our greatest asset is between our citizens' ears, not under our feet, and we need to be supporting that and pushing that forward. And frankly, that's what Beam Global is. We are a technology innovation, a sustainable technology innovation company. And again, we don't disagree with the administration. We are giving reliable, cheap energy to the Marine Corps. Ask the Marine Corps if I'm a sissy or a tree hugger or something like that. They will. I don't think they'll tell you I am.
Right. Listen, Desmond, I know you're pressed. You've got another engagement that you have to get to. I wanted to get this out because you have had some. The problem is you have a lot of press releases, and you've been even more active lately. And it's hard to keep up with all that stuff, right? I like to keep everybody informed of what's happening at Beam. I still am and if we go too far in between, people start questioning if I'm still in Beam, and I am. I'm not going anywhere. I actually think Beam is one of the best stocks in my portfolio that I at some point think are going to pay back very handsomely. I can't tell you when.
I'm all in. I'm all in this company. I'm convinced that we will get through this sectoral slump in share price. Like as I said, all our charts look the same. And what you do when you're a manager like I am is you just keep your nose to the grindstone. You keep creating great products, sell it to great customers, do it again. Create great products, sell it to great customers, do it again. And eventually the market will get the sense of that.
You're absolutely right. Execution always winds up being reflected in the price.
There is no other way.
So you will admit, and you have admitted, this right now here in the U.S. is tough on the
Yeah.
company.
Yeah.
I would say that this is just me. Don't take this as gospel, but I think it's priced in. I could be wrong. The problem is the technical guys, there's no floor right now because you broke the all-time low.
Yep.
Technical guys are going to pile on to that. At some point, though, again, when people really look at the whole story, and I don't know who it's going to be or who's going to say what, but you're going to realize there are a lot more assets here. This is ridiculously priced right now. This is stupidly priced. That's my opinion. For what you have pulled off, this is just stupidly priced, and it will not stay this way. At some point, logic will start to kick back in. So let's cut it here. Unless, do you feel as though I missed anything that you really want to emphasize right now?
No, I think your last points are excellent. I mean, and this is where our discipline comes in. You know, the simple fact of the matter is we are incredibly disciplined. You know, that's why we don't have any debt. That's why we spend so little money. Look at our operating expenses. We are incredibly disciplined, and discipline's what gets you through these things. Frankly, the market will have its gyrations. Discipline gets you through. I totally agree with you. History repeats itself. We will what goes down will go back up again. And people with discipline and good products and good customers will win out. There's a million other things we could talk about, Tim. There always is, but I'm very grateful to you for your time and for helping me, take some of the cobwebs off the story, if you like, or whatever misunderstandings people have about us. And again, the last thing I'll say is we're very open. If there are people out there who have doubts about what we're doing or how we operate or anything, like, just get in touch with us. Get in touch with us. We've got no secrets here. I love what I'm doing. I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of the team. I'm very proud of our products and our customers.
This is what I would say. I had a CEO say this not too long ago, because I never tell anybody what to buy and what to sell, right? I mean, I don't do that. But he said something that I thought was pretty good. I thought it was excellent, actually. He said, just buy one share. One. And I thought the simplicity of that, of what he just said, really is brilliant, because if you had 80 million people buy one share, right? I mean, just the people that would have bought that share at the time that he said it, the stock was at $1.50. About 2 months later, that stock had some news and shot up to about 23 bucks. I think right now it's at 12.
Yeah.
One share. And what the reason that he says it, and the reason that I agree with it, is when you own it, I don't care how many shares you have, when you own it, you pay more attention to it, right? So that's why I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to step out on a limb and say, I would recommend buying one share of Beam Global. I would.
No, don't tell them that. The proxy mailings will go bankrupt us if we end up with millions of people owning one share.
I'm going to say, because here's the deal. I don't think it belongs here. I think if you do have one share, you will pay attention. And then when you do, I don't know, maybe it'll be a year from now, maybe it'll be 6 months from now, maybe it'll be 3 months. One of these days, you're going to look at that and go, wow, that thing's really had a nice move. And then you're going to get pissed at yourself that you only had one share. But I think this is one that you can be proud of to be involved with, because it is an American company. It is American-made product. It is better for the environment. There are a whole bunch of positives. There are a lot of people that like just to focus on negatives. I am not that guy. It's not that I'm blind to the negatives, but I just don't see more negatives outweighing the positives in this one. That's the reality.
And I'll tell you, my last comment was, if you can think of negative things about our company, write them down and send them to me, and we will fix them. I mean, that's what we do. We solve problems every day. Listen, times are tough, but we're tougher.
All right, Desmond, we will do this again, but sooner. I am going to stay on you more.
Please do.
Okay.
Please do.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll have you back. Thanks for taking the time.
My pleasure. Thanks for your time too, Tim. All the best.
Thank you for tuning in to another CEO interview here at Alpha Wolf Capital. Today we had Desmond Wheatley from Beam Global, ticker symbol BEEM. If you enjoyed today's interview, do us a favor, give us a like. How about giving us a share? And while you're at it, make sure you smash that subscribe button. All of those things are extremely important to us here at Alpha Wolf Capital, and we appreciate you taking the time to do that. Until next time, stay safe. Alpha Wolf Capital wishes you the very best of success.